Hey guys, Stu here, and you are at the YouTube channel Stewie Snakebite, where I bring you everything that I love in regards to slithery stuff, scaly stuff, and some creepy crawly stuff as well. So my last video was all about snake feeding, had some really cool snake feeding clips, had a few slow-mos, had some really good responses from that, so thank you so much. Today, as promised, we're going to do an entire tour of my flat. We're going to show every single enclosure I have. Now, as an addendum, there is a few pending upgrades to some enclosures I have. Obviously, I do work 9 to 5 to support this kind of hobby. I mean, I don't work 9 to 5, I work horrible shifts. But anyways, I do work a day job to support this hobby. So I am only able to do these upgrades when the money comes in. So it is a bit of a slow process, but we are getting there. So we're going to see every animal's enclosure, so every animal that was on the introductory meet and greet video we will see, and you'll see their enclosure. So a bit of a reintroduce, and you get to see the awesome habitat they're living in. Now, if you like the content I'm putting out, don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, drop a comment down below, and as always, hit the ping button just so you know when I've uploaded a new video. Without further ado, let's get into some awesome enclosures and to see some wicked animals. We'll start with this 4-foot enclosure up here. So this is the enclosure for the dwarf reticulated python short crust. Now short crust is currently in shed, so we won't bother her too much just because she is rather cantankerous when she's in shed. But as you can see, oh, there she is, just at the back there, just relaxing, bless her, keeping it nice and humid. So I keep nearly all of my snakes on orchid bark because I feel like it's a really awesome substrate, keeps great humidity, and is really good at lowering levels of impaction. Got a nice water bath there. This was a really good idea from my sister. So if you're in England, places like B&Q and Homebase sell seed trays. They are watertight, really long, really deep, an amazing water bath. And then she's got this really cool bogwood there, and she's got her CHE above her there. Now, sadly, this is the enclosure that she came to me in. She is one of the animals I will be upgrading ASAP, but as for now, this enclosure suits her needs perfectly. So this behemoth, or we call it the Franken Viv, because you may have noticed it is actually 2 Vivs stuck together, is Puff's enclosure. Now, Puff and Short Crust, for some horrendously annoying reason, have decided to sink their sheds. She is under the log at the back. So she is also currently in shed. She has been spending pretty much every day in her water bath. So this is her Viv. This is one of the upgrades I've been able to do. So she actually came to me in just this black Viv. Now she is between 6 and 7 foot. So that was one of the first things I needed to do, was to sort that out. So we've now got this Viv. So it's 2 3-foots put together with this middle sections cut out of both. And then you've got a nice 6-foot. She's on orchid bark. She's got some awesome leaf litter, which I made myself. Some really nice logs. She's got 2 hides and the same kind of water bath as Short Crust. And that's her. So this, like I said, this enclosure perfectly suits her needs. And long term, I would love to do a live planted or bioactive Viv for her. It can be quite difficult with snakes because some of them will bulldoze all the plants out. But for now, this is perfect. There he is. Spot Winston. It's one of my favourite games. There he is. That tiny little snoot poking out. So this is Winston's 2-foot. So Winston is reasonably small at the moment. So again, this perfectly suits his needs. Sadly, you may have noticed there's some... Hello, buddy. Got a little face poking out. Hello. So sadly, you can see that there is some dried up plants in there. It is bioactive, but I had lots of live plants in there. So me and Winston had a bit of a stormy relationship at the beginning. I say that as a joke, because he likes to literally tear up his plants. I have replanted this Viv 3 times, and every time he has dug under the substrate and just torn them up. So at this point, I've settled for plastic. So this is Viv. It's a standard 2-foot Viv. He's got his nice CHE over the top, obviously all thermostat controlled, and his nice water dish. I do come in most nights and find him soaking, but this is perfect for him for now. So long term with Winston, I want to get obviously a much larger Viv for when he starts to grow and put some really good size on. So for those of you who watched my last video, you'll know that I said that anacondas are semi-aquatic. So my plan with his next enclosure is going to be a half and half Viv, or a 75-25 land to aquatic. So get a really nice all down that side waterscape going, and maybe a waterfall feature and everything to keep it really nice and clean. But that is Winston's enclosure. So this is the reality of keeping so many reptiles in a flat. So we will start with Chips. There he is, just enjoying himself there. So this is Chips, 3 foot by 3 foot Viv Exotic plus Arboreal. He's got his Swell Reptiles water fountain in the right hand side. So for those of you who know a lot about chameleons in the wild, you'll know that where they mostly spend a lot of their time in the wild is at the break of the forest edge. So he's got hiding spots, he's got a lot of kind of foliage where he can go and like be hidden, but for the most part their basking areas will be in exposed places. So to really support that kind of like naturalistic behaviour, that's what I want. Long term, Chips is gonna, because Pickle, hey buddy, Pickle is going in this awesome extra large Reptile breeze there, because he's going to need a much taller enclosure and bigger enclosure than he's in now. But Chips is going to get a second 3 foot by 3 foot Viv Exotic, which is going to go in that one, and I'm going to do a knock through like I've done with Puff's Viv, and he's going to get a 6 foot by 3 foot Viv, which is going to be stunning. Now Chips' enclosure is a mixture of live planted and fake. It is bioactive, so he's got a lot of custodians in here, and he's coming to say hello. Hey buddy. Okay, yeah. Hello, you being needy? Come on then. So Chips is being needy. Come on then. Oh, hello. It's lovely to see you. Focus camera. There we go. And I've got, oh, we're being angry because we have seen da-da-da, chameleon off, fighting for my affections. So Pickle's being needy now as well. Hello, buddy. So for those observant souls among you, you will have seen that Pickle's got a bit of like the remnants of shed on him. He was recently in shed. And we're having a chameleon off. Look at how angry Chips is. So this is Pickle's 3 foot by 1 foot Arboreal Viv Exotic. It was perfect for when I first got him, and it's still a decent-ish size now. However, like I said, he too is getting an amazing upgrade. Whoop whoop whoop. He's getting an upgrade into this amazing XL Reptile breeze, which measures 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, which is awesome. Plenty of room for him to go around and explore and just have fun. He too, like Chips, has got a Swell drinking fountain. Fun fact, chameleons very rarely ever drink from a stationary water source. So putting in bowls like you would of a snake is a no-go. So they will either drink directly off the leaves, or if you've got a dripper or a fountain, that is the preferable option. His too is live planted, and he's got a ton of custodians in there, just keeping that soil clean, keeping it moving, keeping it ticking over. So next we have got Toast's Bioactive Pollen. So I originally bought this Pollen with the idea of having some frogs, but unfortunately I couldn't get a hold of any of the species that I liked or wanted. So I gave it over to Toast, and Toast is just relaxing on the rock there. There he is, being a good boy. Being a good boy. So this measures 90 by 30 by 30. It's got a really nice deep bottom, so for those of you who like doing live planted and bioactive, it's awesome for the plant roots. He's got this nice yucca tree, he's got some snake plants, just an awesome enclosure. This is probably the most recent bioactive one I've done, and I'm quite happy with it. All in all, it's a good one. So this next enclosure, this is Goldie's enclosure. Now please, for the love of God, don't judge me. This is a temporary enclosure. Now, for those of you who have fostered snakes or take adopted snakes in, you all know that it is a costly business. So, at the moment, because I am only fostering him, I really don't necessarily want to put as much money and time into him as the ones that are technically mine. So, Goldie has got a really nice 3 Foot Viv. Again, orchid bark, plenty of places to hide, nice water dish, and if we lift up this little hide here, he is not there. And if we lift up this bit of cork bark here, hello, there he is. So next we have Noodles Viv. So you may think, Stu, that glass is filthy dirty. It's not actually glass, it's actually smash proof acrylic. So this enclosure didn't come with glass doors, so I had to get custom made. So this is Noodles Viv, pretty standard, again, kept on orchid bark. Got a few nice like nourishment pieces, like the rocks, the little round. This water dish, it's got this really nice, so this is his hide. Didn't actually buy it as his hide, I bought it for decoration. And then he did have a really huge hide in there, but then as Noodle is prone to do, he decided to be very truculent and naughty and just take that as his hide. So that's Noodle's enclosure. Again, CHE, thermostated, everything you need in there really. So this enclosure is your standard 30 by 30 by 45 Exoterra, the standard one everyone has seen 1,000 times. Again, bioactive, I'm a big believer in bioactive enclosures. You want to really replicate that naturalistic environment. You've got that nice big red bromeliad in the middle. Some, I think there's a ginseng in here, and just some other awesome plants. Now this is Peanuts. So Peanut is currently, let's focus in on her. She is hiding in that leaf up there. She doesn't look like it, but that is her, trust me. And that is it. So again, as she is so small, you could argue that this is potentially a little bit too big. Sometimes it is a bit of a struggle for me to find her, but as she's not having to hunt for her own food and she's supplied with Pangea in the same place every day, she's not really struggling to have to find or forage for any food. So a fun fact is I actually keep a lot of my crested geckos on a UVB light system. So it's a very, 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 very low level UVB. I tend to use the Arcadia Shade Dweller kits, simply because in the wild, regardless, you will be exposed to UV. Whether you're crepuscular, nocturnal, you will be exposed to UV at some point. And I really want to give them the most naturalistic environment possible. Technically, you can keep crested geckos on just LED lights, but I feel like these give amazing results and I want to give them that amazing husbandry. Next, and he's actually come to say hello. Hey Nacho, what are you doing?
Hey Daddy. Hey Daddy. What are you saying? You showing off my house?
Hi, my name's Nacho and welcome to my crib. So this is Nacho's really nice 4 foot long Viv. Again, it's quite sparsely decorated because he's only just had it refurbed. He is now on beach chip. I did have him on Aspen before, but any of you colubrid owners will probably agree with me. It is great having them on Aspen, but Aspen is a nightmare to clean when they do their business. So I found that beach chip has worked really well recently. Nacho's got a few cool ornaments in there. He's got a fox skull, he's got another fox skull, just some cool bits of woods, and his nice basket hide there. All in all, really nice. So long term, I would love to do a bioactive enclosure for Nacho. There's some awesome examples on YouTube. Reptile Garden, she did a phenomenal bioactive one for her corn snake. So that is something I'd definitely like to replicate. If you haven't checked out her channel, go check it out. But that's Nacho's. So, we've got this nice beam in the way. This is Moose's enclosure. T-Rex skull. It is a 4 foot by 2 foot. Because Moose is very active and he likes to, at night that is, and he likes to search and discover. Now, you may be wondering, Stu, what on earth is going on with that? So this was the first enclosure I ever tried to do a proper hardscape of, and I had some issues with the cocoa fibre and with the silicone, and yeah, it was a bit of a mess. So I did that best part of a year ago. Long term, I really do want to redo Moose's enclosure, but, you know, apart from that, serves his needs, serves his wants. There he is, just enjoying his life. You know, being him, being Moose, doing what mooses do. Live in Canada. No, he doesn't live in Canada. And that's him. So lastly, this is Pease's enclosure. This is a 45 by 45 by 90 Exoterra. Pease is currently asleep in his coconut. Very cute. So he's got some snake plants. He's got a bromeliad, which was flowering, but unfortunately it has departed this world. Again, 100% bioactive. Got some custodians in here, so springtails,
Wood lice, there's a domestic beetle right there, if it focuses. Hello bud, just come say hi. So I always use the Pro Rep Rainforest substrate. I also mix it with some additional cocoa fibre, some potting soil and some leaf litter as well. Really, really good. And sphagnum moss. Really good for holding in moisture, really good for the plants, and just awesome all in all. He's got his nice ledge. Focus, his Exoterra ledge. Apart from that, that is it. So lastly, we've got my 3 tarantula enclosures. Now they are sat right at the top of the shelf. Now they're not overly exciting, so I'm not massively going to go into a lot of detail, but yeah, that's them. So this, guys, is the reality of keeping so many reptiles and creepy crawlies. My advice to you, if you want to emulate something like this, is don't. No, I'm joking. My advice to you is do your research, have deep pockets and a cachet of money that you're willing to spend, and get yourself a very understanding flatmate. You're going to be in the video now. I'm going to edit you in. Show us your enclosure. It's got a hanger in it. Right guys, that is it. All of the enclosures done and dusted. Whose was your favourite enclosure? What is the upgrade that you are most psyched to see? Now you need to stay tuned because there's going to be some crazy updates coming, especially over the festive season, when I get some gifts, some money and some stuff like that to really, really fuel my hobby. Apart from that, guys, stay golden, look after your animals, look after yourself, and keep learning, researching and fueling that passion. Apart from that, this is Stu, signing out.